The mission statement for Wanaka Primary School is empowering a community of learners, which is why we moved to a PBL approach for our school.
And as part of that, we're going to do our project on the playgrounds. Because the school's designing new playgrounds for our juniors and middles, they would like a design of some eco-structures made by us that would possibly be put in these playground areas for the younger kids, and then eventually, hopefully, for the older ones as well. So for the next 2 weeks, that's what we're going to look at. So I've got a wee brief here. I'll just hand those out with your books. And we'll have a wee look at that, and then we're going to look at our action planner and have a bit of a brainstorm about what we can do with this project, what learning we need to do, what resources we'll need, and all of that sort of thing before we get started. So with the eco-structure, we've been looking at new playgrounds for our year 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 students, and having the kids design something that they would enjoy having in their playground, because it's a new school and there is a lot of area here and we haven't had a lot of play structures in here yet. So to get them involved, they're designing something they would love. The introduction, well, we talked about the new playgrounds and the kids decided it would be really nice to design something. Because we talked about what was missing and what would they like to see in their playground. And they came up with the idea it would be nice to design something that was from their community and from their own ideas. Alrighty. Who's got something they quickly want to share? Maybe some common themes here. Any ideas from here? Yes?
Mine had a bunch of pillows in it.
Nice. Connor.
Mine was a tree house.
Who else has had tree houses? That's our big plan. We're going to have a couple of weeks to do this. If you look at the key learnings, some of the key things we want to look at are how buildings express people's culture and relationships with nature, how buildings alter the landscape or actually fit into a landscape and add to it rather than detract, and also creating ecological buildings that work for people and nature in a community. And for us, our community is school and playing and growing through play and experiences. So that's what we're going to be looking at.
Like a 2-story playhouse, and then there'll be a slide going down.
Oh, nice. I like that. Oh, that's the cool one.
Yeah, and there should be like a trampoline on the other side, and you can jump from the first layer down to the trampoline.
Sounds exciting.
And you could have little you could lie on these if they weren't so floppy.
Oh yeah, these could be hard and have little
Lie on them.
Or you could separate them into 2 stories if you want to be in the shade or in the sun.
It could be like a little hammock.
Yeah.
What else could you do with it? I don't know. Yeah.
Building.
Oh, you could.
There you go.
You could have a little
Make the rooftop bigger.
door that goes up here, and then have a little nest up here. Brooke,
Yeah.
you could have little sunshades and stuff, or ways of getting water off that. Or bouncy trampolines.
Or swings on down.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If you cut off all the stick things, put that out of your view, and put this on the ground, you could make it some sort of mechanical, those spinny things that you stand on.
Oh yeah, those.
And then you just hold on, and it just goes.
Oh you could have it on the ground, and like you said, on the ground, and it could before like be a trampoline on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Like a little trampoline, and when you want to get off, you can slide down.
Yes, like these little slides.
Yeah. I did a tree that you can climb up and just sit in, and I did a swing bridge as well, and a whole lot of other things for kids to play on. And I also included a sunflower trampoline and other stuff yesterday. And I did a little seating area inside that you can maybe have your lunch or morning tea. And I also did a swing off the tree.
Yes.
And a rope swing, an entire swing. Yeah.
Robin, you know those things, if we had like a playhouse or something, or just on the playground, we could put like a wind monitor thing.
And a rain gauge.
Yeah, and a rain gauge in a garden, we thought.
On the roof.
On the roof. How would they see it if it's on the roof, if they're going to use that as a learning thing? I like it.
If we had,
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Good ideas. I like it. Some really great ideas. Of course, we're just getting ourselves warmed up for this, and we're going to do a bit of maths that's going to help with this. But right now, I want you to have a look at this plan, which will look at what learning are we going to need to help us do this. So what skills do we need to actually complete this? How will we find out what people are going to think and feel about it? What could we do to do that? Because thinking that this is for the year 1, 2s and the 3, 4s.
we could go like survey the classrooms.
So that would be the sort of thing you would put in here. Survey, interview, all those sort of things. What information and resources will we need? What's our vision? What are we going to do? How can we communicate to others about our project? So I'm just going to give you this in groups, maybe 2 or 3. I don't mind if you want to move around to be with a particular group.
I can designing skills. I'm interior designer. Okay.
So, brainstorming ideas. How we find out what people think and feel. We could do surveys,
Yeah.
interviews, ask people, interviews. Who could influence the decision? Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4.
Oh, right.
Student. The other years of student. I'm writing the other years. You just make the student.
We were doing the eco-structures. The kids had to have an understanding of size and measurement and scale so that they could make a model or a plan. So using their skills from measurement and maths and shape, it was getting them to get a feel for what their structure would be like in terms of size to make it appropriate to play on and to be able to do a scale model.
Measures her furniture. Did she use the right ruler?
Calculate the volume of each piece of furniture. Which piece has the greatest volume?
So calculate the volume of each piece. What if we like say we don't want it? Fine, okay. So
Do we have to add them all
a piece
together?
of paper for that.
No, we need to add them all together.
Oh, it's 902.5. Is that better? Wait, that doesn't make sense.
Which one are you doing? You're doing the first one.
Yeah, wait.
I got
902.5.
It's 3. Is that this one?
The bed is 902.5.
I got 3. The bed. 3.35.
What times it, Abby?
Okay, so wait.
It's the volume, Abby. It's practically the area, but you just times that.
How did you do the 0.9 on the length? Because I got the 0.9.
Well, that's not the length. That's the width.
Hey, 1.9 is the length.
No, yeah, 1.9 is the
1.9 is the
length.
length. You said the width. It's 1.95 is the width.
No, I wanted her to do the 9.
Wait, this is really confusing. This is not helpful. I don't like this. This is really annoying. Can you do something?
Okay, I'll do something.
Hang on, half of it's 12. Not as big as a 3.5.
I wasn't sure what to do with the like measuring.
So to measure it, should we go over there? They might want to film you.
Because Brooke's
Have you
been
got a
trying to work it
calculator?
out. She's having lots of trouble working it
Have
out.
you girls got a calculator here?
Yeah.
Okay. 25, because that means 1 centimetre.
7.6.
So that tells you the scale.
Okay.
You've worked out how many 25 centimetres are in 1.9, and that will give you your scale, so 7.6. So, if we're going to make a 3D shape, guys, you need to have your 7.6, your 3.8, and then your flaps to be the 2 centimetres high when it folds together.
Well, that's tragic.
Try again. Here's your pencil back. Good luck.
Okay, so I need to measure 7.6.
The first one is 7.6.
Yes, we know that.
We use project-based learning in and across our whole school curriculum, but we also set aside the core subjects of numeracy and literacy as almost standalone subjects to be taught deliberately, and once we have those taught deliberately, they can then be integrated into other units of work. If you don't have good literacy skills and good communication skills, you're going to find it much more difficult to become a really good problem-based learner or project-based learner. We teach social sciences and science and technology, the arts, all integrated as much as we possibly can. We look at bringing in aspects of most of those curriculum areas that tie in really tightly together. We don't just say, oh, we've got to make sure that we're covering all of these areas.
So just while you're waiting, just have a wee look here. We're going to do an inspiration photo hunt today. So these are mostly terrain inspired. That means looking at the land. What do you think's inspired these ones? Hills and mountains, exactly. They've got pedestrian walkways, and the roof is a green walk. You can actually walk along the roof. And each of those has little bits inside of it. Building, you know, rooms and offices and things. This, a gleaming polished black basalt and towering structure. So they've used that shape of that rock to create that building there. This one, obviously, what do you think's inspired this? Just tell your neighbour quickly.
Mountain with snow.
Okay. Interesting. I hear mountains, but I heard someone say a spider web.
What?
That was clever. It is very clever because it could easily have been a spider web. Good thinking. Next one. With shapes. On the Lawrence Moves. And again, a lot of green. And a lot of these buildings are also east.
Where's the last? He's actually lost.
He just ran.
Okay, let's go.
No, there's more. There's one over here.
One right here.
No, there's one right here.
Coming out.
No, but I just got the wasp. Ah.
Okay, did you get a photo? Let me see it.
I did. It's not letting me take a photo of the damn thing.
And so, yeah, like that. Then you put like a thing around it, and then have like a fountain.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. So it would be like,
Yeah, and then you have flower fountains.
so they come out
Yeah.
and they come back. Ooh.
Yeah, and then you just put water.
Oh yeah.
But like a barrel that no one would be allowed to put snow.
Shelves and all that. I like that
Nice.
there.
Yep, that one's good. No, because I'm gonna delete that one. That's bad. It's bad. 6.
No, that's kind of pointless.
That one's, yeah, keep that one because that's kind of a good one.
That one's kind of pointless.
Oh, that's actually, hey. I reckon we need That's cool. Everything else is pretty good.
I don't think we need that one either.
And what colours you could create from that. Have you got any photos there that would look and help you with a colour palette? Like the ones I showed you there, like a flower which has pinks and greens. And there, if you, like that would be quite a good one. The whites, the greens, the different greens, the dark and the light.
Ooh, pretty colour.
And thinking about that colour palette that you would use. Up here I also have all your great design sheets from the other day. And there were some very, very cool ideas. So the fantail, and this particular thing has a bouncy chair, you know those ones that rock when you sit on them?
It's called The Adventures of the Potato, the fantail.
There you are.
And we'd do science on a Monday, and we would do social sciences on a Tuesday, and we might do, technology on a Wednesday, which was very fragmented, and it meant that you could never really get your teeth into something and really dig deeper into it, because that's the part. The deep learning is essential to project-based learning. It's those higher order thinking skills that we're wanting the children to develop. The knowledge and the comprehension, they're fine, we have to have those, but we're wanting children to be able to analyse and to be able to critically evaluate and to create new knowledge from what they've learned. So the deep learning was the part that was kind of missing in the past.
Probably the biggest thing is goes back to that empowering a community of learners, which is our vision. It's teaching those self-directed learning skills, those self-managing skills, so that children can become connected, engaged, lifelong learners. So it's teaching children how to learn, so that they can take any context in life, any project-based learning context, and know how to address it and work towards it.
Is it off the tree or is it just sort of a thing?
Someone got hurt, someone got high, some of them